How y'all doing? Shout out to all of you all in the building. Y'all make sure y'all come in and hit that like button like you mean it. Smash it like you mean it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Just got through with a fantastic live. Checking out Robbie Starbuck. And he just laid it out for 56 good whole God blessed minutes. So we are back here again with special guests. You guys make sure you come in. Everybody speak to everybody. Shout out to you, Lynn. I appreciate the support here with the new membership. Thank you, Mindy. What's going on? Jeep Lady, welcome all back. Welcome all. Welcome all. I wanted to make sure we broke up the last live from this one. Of course, the previous one was not scheduled, but we hear y'all. We are here, and we got Jared from Continue Freedom with us. We're about to have a good time. Great discussion. I want you all to make sure you come prepared with your questions. Anything you all need to know. He said there are no restrictions or limitations. Ask away, ask away. Thank you all so much. What's going on, D? How you doing? Oh, what's going on? Thank you so much. 250 gems, laughing disco. You guys, listen here. I'm excited. I love to be able to interact with content creators across the board. And we have a first time up in the LLC. It will not be his last. All right. Give a shout out to Jared with Continue Freedom. How you doing?
Hey. Doing all right. How are you doing? I saw Lynn down here became a member, and Lynn's over on my channel too. I love this. I love the crossover. I was watching your last live, and of course, the whole time, as is the case on this show. And it's so familiar. You see all these wonderful people, and it's like the interaction's fantastic. I love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've only been reporting on Candace, heavily like this since around last year September when Charlie Kirk lost his life. So naturally, she came off like she really cared and was really sympathetic. And then she did this whole switch thing. And then now we get this monstrosity that we're hearing and seeing. How long have you been on YouTube? How long have you been addressing her particular, as a topic?
Well, I'm like a lot of folks. I was very pro Candace because Candace was, when she was tied to TPUSA, when she was, kind of, she was working for the Daily Wire, she was doing all that. I was, I enjoyed when she would stick it to the left sort of thing. That was her stick or whatever. And so at that time I would bring her up on videos, and I've been doing videos for 3-4 years. I don't know exactly how long. I wasn't always on YouTube. I've only been on YouTube for, I don't know, maybe 2.5 years. But I was in, I mentioned it in your last live stream. I was actually in YouTube timeout for about a year. I said something that YouTube, it was bad. YouTube did not like it. And so they started shadow banning me, and I would get this great engagement within the first, hour or two of releasing a video. And then nobody else would see it. It would just stop. All the impressions stopped. And one day about I guess it was probably in June, July of last year, something in the algorithm, and I'm sitting here doing a live, and all of a sudden I've got like 500 people on the live.
Wow.
I'm used to having 3 or 4 trolls, and that was about it, but I just kept doing the videos anyway. And so, all of a sudden I had these people, and I was nervous at the time because I wasn't expecting it,
Right.
So I just kept rolling. I was like, whoa, where'd all this viewership come from? And ever since then, my channel's actually been growing a little bit. So that's been nice. But I say all that to say, before I was just talking mostly politics, culture. That's still what I talk about most of the time.
Okay.
But I really started talking about Candace shortly after, once she started launching into all the crazy conspiracies. Right after Charlie Kirk's assassination, that's when I thought, okay, this is something I could already envision how it was just going to go out of control. Like it was just going to go nuts. Yeah. So doing what you're doing and what content creators are doing, trying to head off all the lies and the deception and the confusion and all that, you kind of have to do your part. Like that's really what it is.
Yeah, so, absolutely. So Have you ever met Charlie Kirk? Have you ever been to a TPUSA event? I mean, what?
No, I haven't, but I've been following it closely because I always, I kind of sat in awe, I think like a lot of people did, about Charlie Kirk and how he, um, well, okay, the conservative movement in general, just how it was shifting so rapidly because of that guy. I mean, he's the guy who got Donald Trump elected president, period. Like in the story, he was responsible for whatever it is, 2.5, 3 million votes. And,
Yeah.
and Donald Trump won, or he was responsible for 2 million votes. Donald Trump won by 2.5, 3 million, whatever the number was. And
Wow.
a lot of people equate that to Charlie Kirk directly. And I
Mm-hmm.
was always fascinated with how the guy could approach people who were in political opposition to him,
Mm-hmm.
do so aggressively, but still be a Christian about it, because that's my worldview. My whole worldview comes from Christianity, right? That's how I
Oh,
approach
yeah.
everything, is through a biblical lens. And not that I'm some theologian or anything, but that's just how I'm attuned to do it. And he did it better than anybody else. And so I just,
Yeah.
I just kind of stood in awe of what he was able to accomplish. But I
Mhm.
never met any of the folks there. I'm a veteran, so I spent 10
Okay.
years on active duty. And then when I came out of active duty, I went in the reserve. So I actually retired just 2 years ago
All
from
right.
after 21 years in.
Well, thank you
Although,
for your service.
yeah, absolutely. So I did. When I came out, I couldn't really speak my mind fully because I was still somewhat connected to the military. But
Gotcha. Okay.
I did videos anyways. Never said I was in, because you kind of fear reprisal. The military
Yeah.
on, super uber woke.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I got out, I started getting connected with a lot of Christian organizations and doing some contract work with them and all that, but never really in the political space. Other than some of the organizations I've worked with, they do advocacy. So they're doing Christian-based advocacy in DC and other places like that to try to make sure, or try to get legislation to have a Christian bent put to it. But I never really was involved with political activism other than on social media.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you said you were Army, Marine?
Yeah, I was Army.
Army?
So I was, yeah.
So now you have this clown of a Candace. And just in case anybody is new here and you're wondering why I say her name that way, that is how her cult members spell her name. Candice. So I'm like, oh, okay, Candace.
I wonder where that came from. I've heard you say that. I was like, where in the world does she get Candace? I need to know the story.
They come in and spell it that way. We just go with it.
I didn't even have to ask you.
Oh my God, the cult members say you can't even spell their own cult leader's first name. Lord have mercy. So you get, this what, month 2, month 3 in, and you get this little crazy, wacky, weird ass sitting here. Oh Lord, I'm trying my best not to cuss. They're sitting here talking about the U.S. Army, the military is involved. Hearing something like that, I mean, did your blood boil like mine did? Because I was so pissed. I did a live stream in the car.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. The audacity. Man, tell me what you went, what went through your mind when you heard that.
Well, I will tell you. So you actually, something that spurred me looking up a quote, because I couldn't remember it exactly. It was your last stream, the one that you were just on. And you were talking about how, of course, we know this. She's woven all these conspiracies and all these people that have been involved. And it's this massive web, like hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, would have to be, from the defense to the prosecution to the FBI to the Utah State Police all these people would have to be in perfect lockstep. And there's a guy, his name is Chuck Colson, and he started something called the Colson Center for Biblical Worldview. And what they do is they train people in, I think it's a lot of different facets of life. So it could be law, legal, or politics, or, medicine, or social work. I mean, just about anything, that any industry you could be in. And here's how to look at everything through a biblical worldview. Well, he got famous because he was in the Watergate scandal, and he went to prison. And when he went to prison, he became a Christian. And this is the quote. He said, I know not to get too biblical on this, but it's interesting because it does tie into the conspiracy side of this. He said, I know the resurrection is a fact, and Watergate proved it to me. How? Because 12 men testified they had seen Jesus raised from the dead. Then they proclaimed the truth for 40 years, never once denying it. Everyone was beaten, tortured, stoned, and put in prison. They would not have endured that if it weren't true. Watergate embroiled 12 of the most powerful men in the world, and they couldn't keep alive for 3 weeks. And I thought, what better example to say that the bigger the conspiracy gets, the less likely it is.
They didn't even live for 3 weeks.
It's so true, though. It's so true. The bigger
Amen to that.
the bigger it gets, the more ludicrous, but the more exciting for her followers. It really is. Yeah. It's the more exciting it gets for them, and the more intrigue and people get sucked into that. Yeah. And I always use the analogy that we, those of us that are trying to expose the truth and tell people, look, fine, ask questions, but there's, like you've said, there's a difference between asking questions and making allegations. And all of her people are like an arsonist walking through the woods, and they're just flicking matches into like the dry underbrush, and we're the ones going behind them trying to put it out with fire extinguishers, and that's all they're doing. We expend all this energy just saying, nope, this isn't right, and here's exactly why. Yeah.
Yep. And and here's the thing. It's like I tell people all the time when it comes to my approach on this, at the end of the day, it's the hashtag Mala for me. Mala. Make America laugh again. Because there is no way you can watch this girl do anything. God help us. We're going to do a watch party on that Sean Ryan interview. Oh, that thing is 4 hours. Oh, it's 4 hours, Lord. But at some point, I end up having to close out on something comical. Because if not, everybody gonna walk away with a headache and be mad and angry. And it gets to a point where she's recycling this stuff. People like Candace, I don't think are very difficult to figure out. It's all about everything being fake and gay to her. So the idea of her fake it till you make it, stepping on the backs of others to get to the top, and then not care about the damage caused, she has no emotions towards that at all. She has no thought towards any of that. And when you speak about, because I'm apolitical, I'm like, I should be able to just kind of be able to talk to both sides of the aisle. And at the end of the day, I say it like this: when you stand before God on Judgment Day, He's not going to ask you who you voted for. That's kind of what keeps me, in that neutral stance, because I want to be able to tell the truth no matter what, and not be politically motivated one way or the other. Yeah. But I always do ask this of people, who are conservatives, Republican, Trump supporters, all the things that Candace professed to be. When are you all going to kick her out the club?
Yeah.
When are you going to revoke her membership from the barbecue? Yeah. What do you think is keeping conservatives in mass, especially the ones that have podcasts like that, Megyn Kelly and Brandon Tatum's and the crackhead Mickey Mouse, like all these people? When are they going to get kicked out the club?
That's a good question, and I think that there's a certain number of people who are afraid to break up the coalition, if you want to call it that, because that's the thing. Conservatism over the past conservative politics over the past 3 years, 4 years, really, well, it's been longer than that. It's been since Trump got into the whole thing. But the tent has grown. I mean, everybody kind of acknowledges that. And so we pulled in a lot of people from a lot of different views, and the tent got really big. And when you've got a big tent, you've got disagreements. And that's one way that the right is different from the political left. The political left is very unified, even though you've got the communist and socialist side of it. You've got the moderate left, center left type folks that are still going to vote Democrat, fine. But they don't, when it comes time to vote, the left is unified 100% of the time. The right isn't. And so I do think there's a faction of people that want to keep it somewhat like they just don't want to break it apart. There's other people who have, myself included, who say that I don't think Candace Owens is a person on the right. I really don't. I don't think she's a conservative. I don't think that Tucker Carlson is a conservative. I don't think,
Mhm.
A lot of these people that have popped up
Mhm.
are actual conservatives, which fine, but just say that. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. If somebody is cosplaying something on the internet,
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't want that. Just tell me what you actually think, and that's fine. We'll debate it. We'll whatever.
Exactly.
And so I get into the politics of it because another big concern of mine is just where we're going as, I don't know, a lot of the morality in our country. I worry a lot about that. Not kind of worry about it. I worry a lot about it.
Yep.
And it's the politics and culture has kind of come together. And
Mhm.
I look at people that are biblically minded, and a lot of them don't want to engage in the politics because they say that it shouldn't be. And I kind of say, well, we've always engaged in the culture, and now that culture and
Mhm.
politics have come together, we kind of have to get into the politics, even though
Mhm.
that stinks. We have to.
Okay.
This is a long way around your question.
No, you're fine. You're
I
fine.
can send this yet. Sometimes I
You're
can't shut
good.
up. That's my problem.
No, you're good. We're here for this. We're here for this dialogue. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I just don't think Candace is. I think she rode the coattails of a popular political movement to get her
Mhm.
power. Basically, that's how she got where she is. She rode the
Wow.
coattails of Charlie Kirk. She rode the coattails of Ben Shapiro, and she glommed onto him. And the moment that she had enough to break away, she did, and she
Mhm.
went against them. And now she's really showing just where she has no moral foundation in any of the stuff that she's
Right.
doing. It's
Yeah.
clearly, in
Goodness.
fact, I was just looking a while ago, while like during your last live stream, I was combing through X, and
Mhm.
she is making the same allegations against Erica Kirk, similar allegations that we make against her, that she's a grifter, that she's in it for the money, and basically saying
Wow.
she didn't have any notoriety until she married Charlie, or until Charlie was killed. And so she's in it for the money, sort of thing. That was what she was implying. I was like, good grief, woman.
What the heck?
What in the world? It's
Bruh.
just hateful stuff. And I just don't like getting into the hateful. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
buy people's fruits, right? You're going to know,
Exactly.
you'll know who they are. And hers are just
Um,
rotten fruits that'll give you a gut ache.
okay. Listen, why do y'all think we coming up with this hashtag Mala? We
That's
gotta laugh at some point.
exactly 100%.
We gotta laugh at some point because if not, you be walking around here angry. And
Mhm.
here's the thing with when it comes down to it, you know, it's for me looking outside in, you know, Candace she doesn't really seem to have much of morality from the beginning. When she lets and we went over one of her interviews, right? That she did one of the first major, I guess, interviews she did with Russell Brand. That she went on his show saying that her mother kicked her out the house at 14. She went to go live with a boyfriend for 6 months. One of her cousins, that genetic related cousin, that was I guess they call it the 80s babies or whatever. They all born, it's like four of them born the same year.
Mhm.
Did an interview on another YouTuber show, Storm Monroe, and said flat out, Candace is capping on that. She's lying. Her mother made sure that her and her two sisters were on the up and up. I don't know where she got that from.
Mm.
And it's like, why would you want to lie and say something like that? Not thinking about, okay, do you understand the consequences that should have fell upon your parents for them to let you go out and live with some dude for 6 months and you are 14 years old? You are a child.
Yeah.
What, do you not realize how ridiculous that sounds? Like CPS should have been all over him.
Yeah.
These things that she does is the pathological lie. She lies for no reason. Like sometimes it doesn't even make sense to lie. You might as well just tell the truth, girl. But what is this? What makes her? What do you think makes her try to do this? Why lie?
I've actually had some experience with this. I think my own personal diagnosis of her, which not a healthcare professional or a mental health expert, but I think it's narcissistic personality disorder. And
okay. Yep.
so I honestly think that's what it is, because you have to, and like I say, I've had some experience with this, that people who suffer from that, there's literally no way. It's why so few of them ever get any help, that you'll ever convince them that they're wrong, that the things that they did were wrong, the things that they said were wrong, that even in some cases, they will actively erase from their mind things that they did and say that it never happened, and they will go to their grave believing it. It's really, it's so unfathomable when you encounter it in real life. You're like, you seriously don't remember this? Like this, you actually did this? No, I didn't. Never did. And I'm right and you're wrong and that sort of thing. It's really wild. So I think there's a component of that. I think that I think she's a pathological liar, and she is she's crafting, like that story you were talking about, where she says, "Oh, I was 14 years old living out, and it never happened."
Right.
But she created the story because for whatever reason in that moment in time, she probably thought, this is what I need to create a backstory that helps make me look a certain way. That would be mine. So it's like, okay, I need to look like I've had a rougher upbringing than I did, or I need to look like I have more, I don't know if it would be street cred or whatever. It's like, I need to look like I pulled myself up by the bootstraps and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So it's just building fake. It's just building a fake story. The left, people on the political left do this a lot. Again, I'm a conservative, so I'm not here to ruffle feathers on that stuff, but just to give you my perspective. People will. It's like Elizabeth Warren when she said that she was part Native American and she wasn't, or it's like
that was a stupid lie.
Yeah,
I lie about that.
People try to or like AOC or Hillary Clinton changing their accents and things like this. It's just being a chameleon for the sake of validation, votes, whatever. I think that's what a lot of people do in that world. And I think she has a lot of audience capture. You listen to her and she says, oh, it's all the mommy sleuths and it's all the people out here that are giving me all this great data. And she's validating the audience, but they're feeding her stuff it's a self-licking ice cream cone. This is what it is. And so they're feeding her stuff that fulfills her worldview. She absorbs it because it's self-gratifying, and then she just keeps running with it. And it's like it's like her own little ecosystem of lies, deceit, and deception. And she's making money. So that doesn't help. She's making millions of dollars. Millions.
She's like 90% of motivation right now.
That's it. And she's like, man, look at this $1,500 jacket I can buy. I'm going to do more of this. You see the car I drove?
I still want my $7,000 check. Did you know we're supposed to get $7,000?
When you left your last stream and you said, Ben needs to take me out to lunch again. I about lost it.
We sent the photo. Oh, we sent the photo in for that one. Let me show you.
Oh, that was funny.
We sure did. The fantastic buys up in here. We got some creative people in the Lady Luck Club. So what we did was, when she said, I will pay $10,000 to anyone that could tell me who went to lunch with Ben Shapiro, I said, bet. So we created the photo. We created a photo of me and Ben Shapiro at lunch. Is she in the background? You know, I tweeted that out. She paid me not one penny. I thought she was paying out. I thought she was paying out a bounty here. So I turned myself in for nothing. Can you believe it?
Not a penny.
I was shocked.
Oh. Well,
priceless.
I get that all the time in my chat. It's like, oh, you got your $7,000, you're the shill, whatever. And it's it's frustrating because I'm all about having legit.
Look, Pay me my 7,000 or 10,000. Pick a number. Just give me the money.
Oh,
I
that's
saw candy. The candy butts don't bother the child. That does not bother me. You know what they end up saying? It's like they're ushering this $7,000 into my life. Keep speaking it into my existence. Go ahead.
that's right. That's right.
Who,
He's
who
speaking
do I
into
go
existence.
for this? Get that money from them. How do I make this tangible?
Oh my gosh. But it's,
You got the kind horse and everything. You can't make this up.
the pink horse is what that's. I'm surprised she didn't see this as. But how did she not believe this image?
That's what I'm saying. And look at her, George, sitting over there being all jealous.
I just saw that. My screen is small. George.
Her, George, sitting there being all jealous. He was so big, man. Candace, where's my money? I want my money.
Oh my gracious.
Oh, this is the stuff that we do, man. We have fun. You know, but
I love it.
If not, like,
really, my eyes are watering. I'm sorry.
Why would she create a bounty for somebody going to lunch with Ben Shapiro? Where would we get that from? Like, you understand what you're doing? That's how you get into this territory when you start putting people's livelihoods and safety in danger. Because I'm gonna pay $10,000 because you went to lunch with Ben Shapiro. He could go to lunch with whomever he want to go to lunch with. What are we talking about here? It's like, care about Felicia. What are you doing?
Well, it's like, and she takes such a dark. So she'll do that, and people say, oh, $10,000. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. But it's that it takes a dark turn on her side so often. Like you mentioned it before, and I actually talked about it in my last stream. Was that Utah, was it Utah State Police officer, the one that testified?
I believe so. Yes. One of the investigators.
Yeah. And I mean, she's like digging into going deep into their backgrounds, trying to find anything she can to draw these crazy, and she's got 1 million people. I'd say most of them are bots and
6 million bots.
Some dude in Indonesia with a wall full of cell phones just but there are some
call centers.
Call centers, yeah, that's what it is. Oh my gosh. But no, there are so many people. There's there could be 1 million whatever people. And I say that she's radicalizing a lot of people like they have radicalized people politically. Yeah. She's using a lot of the same tactics.
Absolutely.
Anybody who wants to radicalize somebody politically. And this is, didn't somebody say that Robbie Starbuck was he doxxed, or was he?
I saw in the comments that he was getting death threats, which is kind of like their MO now. Candace is acting like Tyler Robinson. What do you mean? Death threats? What? Like that's such a signature move of people who are radicalized, and then people who don't value, freedom of speech. Like, defamation is not freedom of speech. That's not protected by the First Amendment. Anything where you're saying or you're putting people's information out there, their relatives, she's going into grandparents and parents and siblings and uncles and all this stuff. We don't need to know who these people are. The judge is not going to sit here and ask that police sergeant to give a full profile in order for them to testify. And they're testifying. So not only is she, being a police sergeant, a covered or a protected person, she's also testifying in a criminal matter. And on top of that, her relatives are all private citizens. And above all, the federal law states, even if you are a public figure, if the intent to harass or forthcoming harassment is proven and evidenced in what she is experiencing, which she is, the entire police department from the statement is catching that harassment and the bullying and the targeting, getting death threats. This woman got death threats. Then that is a violation of law. That is doxing. None of that information we needed to know. And as an independent journalist, if you fail to maintain any level of journalistic integrity and think that whatever you say and do is just going to be wiped away under free speech or under free press, you're going to set yourself up to lose many lawsuits. There is some level of restriction that we should have and boundaries we just don't cross. I would never say anything that would put someone's life in danger and then intentionally create this environment where they are being harassed and targeted and catching death threats.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we doing that? Why? And she never addresses it. People are in jail because of Candace, because they're saying she's the reason why I did this and did that. She's that motivation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's the one that's been talking about how bad these people are. When Jewish conservatives, like 3 or 4 Jewish conservatives, one of them being Laura Loomer with Docs last year, she didn't denounce that at all. She never does. But yet, if you say, well, this is what people wrote in a manifesto, they were inspired by Candace Owens, all of a sudden she wants to ignore it and act like it didn't happen and it doesn't exist. You brought this stuff upon the people that are being victimized with this targeted cyberbullying. And because they're keyboard warriors, bots, people who don't care behind a screen, they think they can just do it and get away with it. That's not how it works. And at some point, it's time to hold her accountable.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. She has not been held legally accountable for that yet. She has not been sued or charged because of her docs, and she's been doing it for 8 years. Had a whole website.
Yeah, that was the one, the social autopsy. That website was. I actually never knew about it. I never, and this is the laziness of a lot of people, and I had succumbed to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we buy off on somebody like Candace on the conservative side. We bought off on Candace because Candace was on our side. A lot of people did it with the Tate brothers, and the Tate brothers are going to, you know, they're getting sent over to UK, and they're facing all the criminal charges that you know, the court of law is gonna hash all that out. But we latch on to anybody and everybody, and we don't do our due diligence, and we think that just because they've come to our side of thinking that okay, they must be good and all sins forgiven. Well, that's, you know, that might be the way the Lord works. Not how we work when you've been doing illegal stuff. And I mean, you brought it up, the 18 U.S. Code 119, that it is a law that even if you are a media personality, social media personality, and you spread somebody else's personal information and put them at risk, that's illegal. It's highly illegal. And she doesn't seem to care, and she acts with impunity. So I hope that, I'm really hopeful and fairly confident that she's going to do it to the wrong person, and it's going to be somebody with resources. And they're going to go, you know, they're going to come after her legally. And she's, how do you think, because I haven't been following it super closely, but the Macron thing, do you think that's, how do you think that's going to turn out? Do you have an opinion on that one?
I do. I think they're going to win. At the rate she's going, with having now the 3rd reschedule, and she's set for court on Monday. I went through the lawsuit and I went through her motion to dismiss. I think Jay Witt, my brother in Christ, and I covered the amended response to the amended complaint. And what they're saying is, well, listen, the jurisdiction of this court, of this matter, does not belong in this court because she physically does not live here, but her LLCs are registered there. They're incorporated there. And that's where the money is flowing. It's flowing through those LLCs, at Candace Owens LLC and the Georgetown Inc. And so we went over like the taxes for Blexit and found a connection of Blexit to Parlor Inc. LLC that George Farmer owned.
Yeah.
It's like the law states if you have an LLC there to which what you're suing for, the grounds on which you're suing for is sufficient. And what you're seeking, they're seeking the damages. They know the money is connected to those LLCs. So suing the corporate entities at the very least, ensures that when judgment is entered against her, because I strongly believe it is, because they're bringing scientific evidence.
Mm.
They know what they're working with when it comes to her assets, her income, revenue. That's flowing through those LLCs even the more. Plus, the defamation itself, even if she's saying I was physically located in Tennessee, she also made merch and she defamed them on YouTube, on the internet. Her YouTube channel is registered to Candace Owens LLC.
Mm.
So the money you've made from defamation is why they're pursuing the matter in that state where the LLC is registered.
Okay.
Because the words may have came out your mouth, but they broadcast it over the internet on her YouTube channel, registered to Candace Owens LLC, and on merchandise that is under Georgetown Inc. So they're saying you made money off this defamation, and you made money from these two corporate entities. So, yeah, no, we have the right to pursue this matter here in the state of Delaware, where your LLC and Georgetown Inc. is incorporated. You can be wherever you want. No one told you to get on the internet and defame us. And the internet, you can't restrict that broadcast on the internet and say no one in Delaware heard defamatory videos. That's not how that works. So internet communications is considered interstate. It crosses state lines, and there's no way for them to reasonably, like her defense attorney, to reasonably say this jurisdiction does not belong here, even though the far reach of her broadcasts, of her videos, they're international. It goes all over the world. People watch it all over the world. It's not limited to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So your defamation, you profited from it. Now you got to pay us. And we're bringing scientific evidence, which is exactly what you need to prove whether or not someone genetically was born a man or woman.
Right.
So I think that scientific evidence is going to solidify it for them, whether it's by DNA or Brigitte Macron gets ultrasounds or something that can be, verified and authenticated by medical experts. But when they said they were bringing scientific evidence, I said, oh, they plan on sticking this. And
aren't there pictures now of her with her brother? Like there's actual photos of her with her brother. Isn't that the case? Wasn't that the argument? Yeah. So
it's like you're trying to say that she was her brother and she didn't give. The idea of you taking away this woman's motherhood is disgusting. That woman had 3 kids and has grandchildren. What are you doing? You can't just say because you think she looks like a man that she was genetically born one, and you don't have the scientific evidence to support it.
Yeah.
But she's gonna bring it. So even better.
Make some good money saying that though. You paid.
She said he did what, 8-part series? Everybody talking about Lady Luck, you ain't seen it. I don't want to see it. I want to see that. That girl give me a headache. We already got to do the Sean Ryan interview. Like this is not. What am I gonna be watching? Because at the end of the day, Candace doesn't know how thunder works. She doesn't know the freezing point of water. She doesn't believe in the moon landing. She doesn't believe in the dinosaurs. Like science goes over her head. What are we talking about?
The thunder and lightning. Was it, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it one of her staff that, so she believed that, and one of her staff confirmed it, but it was her husband who said, no, that's wrong. Isn't that how it went?
She said her and Savannah did not know what thunder was.
Savannah works when it works for, right?
Yeah. But she's saying that Savannah didn't know what thunder was either. Like, girl.
That's the problem. Funny. That's the problem right there. She's hiring a bunch of idiots.
Thank you. I always say this. This is what happens when you keep a bunch of yes men around you. You can't do that. You cannot keep. Listen, my moms will tell me in a minute, Lady Luck Club, you might not want to do that. Jay would have called me and say, you trust me, Lady Luck? Yeah, go ahead, Deacon. You might want to take that post down. Take the whole thing down. That ain't gonna work. Come up in the YouTube benches, get out the YouTube gutters, girl. And I take it.
I love you. I love you. He's such a good dude.
He really is.
I enjoy watching this content.
Absolutely, I do too.
Yeah.
And he and I have reported on topics. We share audience. It's an absolute blessing to have people like that in your corner that truly want the best for you. You would think that George Farmer would come out and just say, "Look, don't make me a sandwich," and that's it. Like, because this is gone far enough. It's like, when is the stopping point going to happen here? And
Yeah.
where is he at? He's the man of the house, ain't he?
So,
He's in that let this happen.
well, I mean, a lot of people wonder if he is the man of the house.
George,
not making any accusations. I'm just
George, you're coming out the closet. Come out the closet, George. It says like his mother's got to be so mad at him. I can't believe you married this heifer.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
He gives me the creeps. George really does.
I was about to ask you about that. What is your vibes from him as a man, Christian man with a family and all that? Does he pass the smell test? Because the men in the Lady Luck Club can't stand him.
I will tell you that for his mannerisms, well, the company he keeps. So I'm no fan of the Tate brothers, and he is very close friends with the Tate brothers. And they make no qualms about it. Like, they've been very open actually about that they're very close to him. So that's a problem right there. But just I try so hard not to draw like just wide reaching judgment on people. However, when they met, the way they met, the nature of their relationship, it seems like this weird, the whole thing seems, as she would say, fake and gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really seems fake. And no romance, just a contractual relationship. I mean, that's really how they describe it. They don't describe it as a typical husband-wife relationship. And he just, everything about the guy just gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's not definitive evidence of anything. I'm just saying that's just the way that I read the guy. It's just weird. He's really weird. And they tried to do that whole fake thing of how they were strapped for money and they couldn't, it was really tough times when Candace lost her job and she did this, that, and the third. And the guy comes from, hundreds of millions of dollars, at least $100 million estimate. Yes. He comes from a rich family of British lords, and they're land ownership or whatever else it is that they've got. They're not strapped for cash. I mean, it could be all smoke and mirrors, but that's not the reputation of his family, of Lord Farmer. And it was, so that's why I kind of took it when they said it as, okay, this is more building of the story. They have to create the correct backstory to fit whatever narrative it is that Candace is pushing. That's the way I took it. So I think he's just as deceptive as she is. And he stays behind the scenes, but I mean, you could drag more drama into it with the whole Brandon Tatum thing and him still keeping her merch and all that stuff. That's I
don't understand it. Brandon Tatum, he is one fickle creature. Like, what is wrong with him? It's like he's afraid of Candace.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Was he always conservative as well, or was he one of the ones that kind of just hopped over just because of convenience? I mean, what is the deal with him?
Well, so his backstory, because I used to listen to him a fair amount, but never a ton. It's like anybody, there's certain people that you can only take in like snippets, and for him,
for
whatever reason, I could only take him in snippets. But when he would give his backstory was that of, he grew up as a kind of a left-wing guy. He grew up, he talked about how he hated white people at one point, and then he realized the wool had been pulled over his eyes, and he had this, awakening, and he came back and became a conservative commentator and doing the things that he's been doing. So it's that's the 10-cent version, I guess, of his story that I've heard him tell. And it just in this situation, because of the, well, to be generous, let me be generous to Brandon Tatum. And Brandon Tatum he's in a difficult situation because he was friends with her, and I guess I don't know if he still is or not.
Still is. Let him tell it. It's like his sister.
And so, but he's also built this conservative network that is pushing a certain worldview, a certain set of politics, a certain, adherence to honesty and all that. You put yourself in that situation. Now you got to make a call because you've got someone over here who's lying to your audience, and you're still saying, I'm not going to even address it. He did eventually. He started to a little bit more, but it was cowardly is the way it looked. It looked very cowardly. And I lost when he said that, I've got this t-shirt business, but I don't have any relationship to that company or anything. I'm just the owner. It's like, well, if you're the owner, then you kind of have a relationship with the company, dude.
You can't make this up. You're the owner.
You're the owner, dude. Like, what are you talking about? I don't make it. No, that's not how business works. I think we all know. How stupid do you think we are? And that when big deals need to be made, he's making it with Candace's husband.
Right.
Like, come on, dude. At some point, if you're going to stand on the morals and principles you say you are, you're going to have to make some hard calls. This is a hard call that he just isn't willing to make. And part of it too could be money for him as well, because he's making truckloads of money as well. And kudos to him for it. However, you're doing it now at the expense of the morals that you say that are very important to you.
Exactly. And I think at some point, chickens come home to roost. I see it like this. If God is not lighting that pathway for you to make that money in this manner, you might want to think twice, because as easily as it came into your life can be as easy and fast as it leaves. That's the same thing I say about Candace. You might have made 50 or 60 million in 10 good months, but you're sitting on 2 lawsuits where you can easily have that money lost. I mean, I hope that Brian Harper brings no minimum than 20 million home. I mean, seriously. Yeah. And then if Erica Kirk and TPUSA decides to pursue litigation against her, they're having to seek double digits, especially TPUSA being a whole organization. And it will be well deserved, because the defamation, that even if you are sitting here and you giving your opinions about something, you crossing into the realm where people are now catching these death threats. They're being targeted and bullied. We looked at a Facebook video of a young lady who worked for TPUSA, and she said, she attended UVU and stated, and this is in the live stream from last night, and she stated flat out, like, Candace, the interaction she had with Candace was not pleasant. Candace was stuck up. She was making demands of people. She had a nasty demeanor, and she just snapped, was real snippy and just wanted to go to her room. Didn't want to hang out. But then she talked about how, but Charlie Kirk wanted to go to IHOP with us. They went to breakfast and all these things. And it's like hearing night and day here. And then it makes you wonder, like, okay, what did Charlie Kirk see after a minute? You think he would have seen the real deal, right? He would have seen, like, okay, we peel back these onion layers. Now look what we've got left. And she was only there for 19 months. Why do you think he never really said the things that we're saying now? Why didn't Charlie Kirk say this about Candace Owens when he was alive? That would be my question.
Well, did you watch Gary over on Jeremy Boring when he was on his show?
I didn't see the full. I think we watched a video clip of it, but I didn't see the full live.
So one of the guys that was on there, what's his name? Is it Michael Mallet? No, it's not Malice. I think it's anyway. There was one of the 3 guests that was on there. It was Will Chamberlain, it was Gary, and then one other guy, and I think it's Michael Malice or Malik. I forget his anyway. And
Okay.
he told a story that he said he had never told before, where he was hunting with Charlie Kirk. They used to be hunting buddies. And so I guess they'd gone, I don't know, dove hunting, pheasant hunting, something like that. And he had it was a huge release. He said when Candace was up and coming, she was becoming famous, but she didn't have any of the deals. He said, I knew that she was going to be talented, and that she was going to be famous. I knew she was talented. And he said, having a frank conversation with her, said, what happens if your car breaks down tomorrow? And she said, oh, I'd be in trouble. And he said, well, how much do you need to get by every month? And I'll help you out. And he did this because he saw her as this firebrand that was going to be, somebody in the future, somebody that's famous as she is now. And she said, I don't know, $1,000 a month. And he said, I'll give you $2,000 a month. And she said, what for? What do you want me to pitch? And he said, nothing. I just want to make sure that you can get through this period of being famous, but not having all the resources that come with internet fame. Everybody talks about these gaps that you become famous. Everybody wants you to have you on their show, but you got to buy plane tickets and you got to get to these places. You got to travel around, and you're not really making that much money. Your expenses far outweigh what money you're making. So he gave her money for nothing. He wrote it out of his nonprofit. And he said it was like a month or two later that he got the most derisive, hateful text message he's ever got in his life. Don't you ever talk to me again. I know what you're all about. And you're this. It was this vindictive text message. And he was with Charlie when he read the text message. And he said something to we could watch the clip, but it's something to the effect of, I've never gotten a text message like this in my life. And Charlie raised up his phone and he said, some people just don't change. And the implication was that it was a text that he had gotten from Candace. Now, to also bring another person into this is Tim Pool. You know who Tim Pool is, the commentator?
Yeah, Tim Pool. Yeah. Tim Cass? Tim Cass? Okay, cool.
Tim Pool said, this was, I don't know how long ago it was, several months ago, that he has seen, he said he hasn't released it. So take it for what he said. It's kind of that whole take my word for it sort of thing. So
okay,
approach it with whatever skepticism we want. But he said, I can tell you that I have seen the text messages that say that Charlie hated Candace. And he said, I can't say who it is. This person doesn't want to be doxxed. I've read the messages. I've seen what it is. And I guess it was in a text thread or something like that. And so he has made that claim. So now there's two independent people saying that she's not who she says she was, but also that Charlie Kirk had major issues with her. And this was shortly before his assassination. So,
wow.
I think Charlie was such a diplomat, and he understood the coalition building that needed to go on. And all my assumption and how I've kind of read the information that I've seen, that he wasn't going to air that stuff in public and, to whatever end. I guess he was trying to just be more tight-lipped about it, I guess.
Wow. Man, you can imagine if even just one comment about Erica Kirk while Charlie is alive probably would have resulted in a epic response from him. But I think at the very least, letting people know what he was truly experiencing, his discernment, seeing her change. He traveled with her for about a good year, and seeing her kind of progress and change into this nonsense we see now would have been beneficial for him to let people know, as it happened. Like, listen, this is who we dealing with. Y'all, this woman is cray. She's got some loose screws. She has a temper problem. She can be nasty and derogatory, and you just as FYI, you all see and know what we're dealing with. Like, would it have been beneficial for him at least to confide in one person about that?
Yeah. Part of me feels like I say feel. I shouldn't say feel. I prefer to work off evidence. Yeah, it hasn't been widely publicized anywhere that was the case, other than people saying behind the scenes, this is what I experienced with her, and this is what he could have just been Charlie could have just been one of those people, and I say this because I know people like this that
Mhm.
are when it comes to confrontation, when it comes to you know wrecking relationships or people that have turned on them or whatever, they just
Mhm.
button up about it because they say this is a problem that I have to deal with, and I don't need to make it other people's problems, and I don't need to make more problems for the person who's doing me wrong, because
Okay.
truthfully, that's probably how I mean, I would say that's how we should be as people.
Okay.
But like if I had a friend, if somebody that I work with or whatever
Mhm.
royally screwed me over on something, should I go out and shout to the rooftops about the person doing it, or should I just say, "Wow, I can't believe they did that. I'm praying for that person," and then move on? Warn somebody. This is the same guy that was in that interview was saying,
Mhm.
and when this happened before she went with PragerU and
Mhm.
then Daily Wire, when she made that progression, he said he regretted not saying something to people about it. Well, he warned PragerU, but
Okay.
I guess at PragerU they didn't heed his warnings. And then he
Wow.
tried to do the same thing to the Daily Wire, and he thought, "Oh, my poor friends over at the Daily Wire." But at that point, he had just kind of backed out of it. I need
Wow.
to find the guy's name because I want to be this way people can look it up.
Okay, we can watch the video clip because I think Mindy, is it Mindy or Juju? One of you all said we saw this one. As far as we did watch that clip. If so, that's fine. We can see it again because I know I didn't see the entire live stream. Um,
I watched the whole thing because I was actually
you did.
hosting Gary's show at the time for the third because it was the same night as the day 3 of the preliminary hearing. So I was hosting
Okay.
his show, and that's why I was hosting because he was down at uh, Jeremy Boring's place in Nashville.
Okay. It's on Jeremy Boring's channel.
Yeah, I'm
Jeremy
gonna see if I
Boring's
can
on his
find
channel.
it. I'll find the clip and I'll DM it to you. This was
Okay.
golly, he posts so much.
Do you all remember the title of the video? Charlie warned. Is it Charlie warned me about? Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh, did you find
Let
it?
me. Yeah, I think I did. Yep. Tiny horse. Hold on. All right. Is this it here? Charlie warned me. He paid Candace Owens rent. Is that it?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yep.
Okay. So we'll check this one out. Make sure you guys go check out Jeremy Boring's Jeremy. Good God. Jeremy Boring's YouTube channel. And we'll check out this clip again. Because I think this is imperative to be you also warned. Bible says be ye also ready.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes being prepared means that you do get a warning sign or two, and that discernment can be something else. It can guide you in the right direction if you let it. But this is one thing that I ask consistently of all, everybody that comes over to the LLC and hang out with us, would it have benefited Charlie Kirk to say something? Because he spent that time with her. He had that quality time with her. He traveled with her, and to me, the way she acts is like a scorned woman. Almost like I didn't get picked, so now I'm just mad forever. Like, hey, how you sit here and go this hard in, obsessing over this man, and now going after his wife, and you have this, you despise him for some reason. Like, what could possibly cause someone to want to muster up that much energy where they despise somebody to this extent, to where now, when he's not here on earth to defend himself, you are going all the way in on his spouse, on her mother, trying to rope in his parents, because I see that coming. And for what? What did he do? That's where I looking at this situation, I can say, and I'm sure people would disagree. Swear I wish he would have filled in the gaps and gave people a heads up. Like this helpful crazy, y'all. Y'all might want to don't say this or don't do that or just be warned because he's not here to defend himself now.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that she's came up and just in the most despicable, egregious manner is dragging him and his company, his spouse, his kids through the mud. And for what? If you don't like him, you hate his guts. Why do all of this? Oh, so much energy wasted into this. But I do understand if he wanted to keep the peace. But I think there should have been something put out there to kind of help fill in these gaps. That way people could say, no, you saying this, but here's what he said in this video. Or here's what he said in this post. That way he can have this level of defense. Otherwise, she's just cannon.
And, you know, by his, if we put ourselves in his shoes, he probably could have thought, I need to figure out the best way to deal with this, the most diplomatic way to deal with this. And he was going to live for another 40 years in his mind or 50 years in his mind.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've got time to deal with this. And maybe that's a valuable lesson to us is, you know, we're not promised tomorrow. Like we're really not, we're not promised tomorrow. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's get to this. You all hit the 4 when you all can see and hear. Let's go.
There were times where I would walk into a conference room to have, you know, some conflict with Candace. You would be involved in some conflict with Candace. And my role would require me to go in and try to, you know, deal with the situation. And many times I would walk out of the encounter convinced that I had done something wrong and that Candace had actually never done anything wrong. I wasn't actually convinced, but I had somehow been positioned. Yeah. She had moved me on the chessboard to a place of, and she does it through all kinds of rhetorical techniques, makes herself the victim immediately, you know, points out to you all the ways that you failed to deal appropriately with her along the way, which precipitated whatever the ultimate event was. But it is a true superpower that she has. Yeah. And she said, you know, if you add to that something that I didn't have with her, but that the audience does, a parasocial relationship, then her superpower is just magnified that much more. You know, everyone in public life has a parasocial relationship with their audience and vice versa. That's just it's the nature of the medium. It's the nature of, you know, it comes with the territory. Particularly though, this has become true in the age of podcasting. You know, it was one thing to have a parasocial relationship with Walter Cronkite. I always think about this great story that Oprah, I like using Oprah story because Candace has told me multiple times that she wants to be Oprah. Oprah told this story once and it always stuck with me, that she was in a super fancy restaurant in LA at the height of her power. You know, this is the late 90s or the early 2000s or something. She's the queen of the world. You know, she's a billionaire. She's certainly the most famous woman in the world. And she's engaged in some conversation with some interesting someone. There's a tap on her shoulder and she turns around and there's a stranger, her eyes as big as saucers. And she says, Oprah, Elizabeth Taylor just walked into the restaurant. And Oprah was offended. And she thought, you're tapping Oprah Winfrey. I'm a billionaire. I'm the most famous woman on planet Earth. You're tapping me on the shoulder to tell me that an actress from 40 years ago just walked into the restaurant? What on earth? And she says, and then I realized, oh, wait. I beam into people's living rooms 5 days a week. They sit in their underwear. They change their kids' diaper. They nurse their babies. They have the flu and they're in their pajamas. They don't have their makeup on. And I sit in their living room with them every day. And I tell them they know my best friend's name. And they know that I'm struggling with my weight. They know that I'm on this new diet. They know that I just wrote a book. They know what book I like. To see Elizabeth Taylor, they have to drive to a temple in the heart of town and pay an offering and walk into a dark room and look up at the 40-foot altar once a year. Right. You know, twice a year if you're one of the biggest movie stars in the world. And what she was describing there, although we didn't have this language in the vernacular in the same way that we do now, is the nature of a parasocial relationship. Elizabeth Taylor has a parasocial relationship with her audience. Of course she does. but it's a very minor one.
Right.
Because part of what made a movie star is that you didn't know much about them.
There was no intimacy.
You didn't have any intimacy, but you had great intimacy with a daytime TV host. And that doesn't even compare to what you have now in the age of the internet. Complete ubiquity. You know, people spend 3 hours a day with Joe Rogan, right? Or they spend an hour and a half a day with Candace, plus Instagram. They see pictures of her with her kids, plus the things that she writes on Twitter. It's just the clips that are coming at you constantly. And it forms in the entirety of the audience a sense that you have a relationship with the person, even though you don't. We all succumb to this to some degree.
Sure.
But some people, it's probably a small percentage. For some people, this becomes a kind of reality. You know, most of us, you know, like, it really feels sometimes like you know Joe Rogan, but you know you don't.
Right.
Right. But for some people, I think they actually don't even know that they don't. And so I say that of people like Candace cultivates that in her audience.
Yeah.
We all experience it. You point a camera at yourself, you're going to experience this to some degree. She cultivates it. And if you add to that the superpower of her personality disorder, I think you do wind up with you wind up in a situation where I would suspect that there are hundreds of thousands of particularly women, but not exclusively, in the country right now, who, if you told them that whole story, hey, you remember when the French took out a hit on Candace and then she just went to Dollywood? They would say, well, yeah, but that's because Candace talked to Donald Trump and he was protecting her. Or, well, yeah, of course, but Candace has the best security in the world. Or, well, of course, but we would never let anything happen to Candace. Or,
yeah, let me tell you. You can't buy this stuff right yourself. Listen. And the coke gets bad when we laugh at her behind. Candace, where the receipts at from Club the Sun? We're waiting, okay? I had to, man, can you believe I looked that up? And I said, Club de Sant deals in gastronomy. It's like the art of food and wine and stuff. It's like, you think they studying you? They've been in existence longer than you've been alive. And somehow payments are flowing from the French president through Club de Sant to some Israeli male operative and a female French assassin that looks like Carmen Sandiego. What are we doing? She's like, girl, Candace doesn't know how to get out of that 14-year-old mindset. It is unbelievable. I mean, you know, something like that would have a paper trail. Let's say someone called you and said somebody made a payment and it might be related to wanting to take you down. Why wouldn't you ask that person, can you send me the receipt? Can you say, take a photo of this? What are you looking at? Are you looking at a laptop? Did you see something printed out? Can you give me evidence of this? No. She says this high-ranking French government employee called her, told her all that nonsense, and sent her nothing to prove it. Now you all see why we got to laugh at her. How do you take that serious? Like,
but people do. They do. That's the mind-blowing part. It's like we're sitting here and we're cracking jokes about it because it's like this is so crazy. No right person in their right mind would believe this, and 1 million people believe it. At least 1 million people believe it.
You know how many times I asked them? I said, "Give me the receipts. Show me the proof of the transactions." She's summoning all of France to do it. It's like, no, you lazy heifer, you do it. You're the one coming up with this. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And they want to sit here and call her a journalist. She's not a journalist. She barely reads. But if you're going to sit here and make these types of allegations, and someone is calling you about this, wouldn't you want to create these transactions to go along with this, Candace? I mean, I'm throwing you a bone. You could just have that to show and make this dumb lie more believable. More believable than that. She's so lazy. She don't even try.
The point Jeremy Boring makes is like, remember when the French put a hit out on Candace Owens? It's like the average person would be like, did you go hide in a bunker? Did they take you to some place? Nah, we went to Dollywood. Went to Splash Mountain. It was amazing. Kids had a blast. It was great.
Yeah, and fortunately for us, no female French assassin came out in the bushes and said, "Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?"
Tried to take her out on the teacups. Getting on a roller coaster.
I was like, okay, so if she can do that, I'm gonna record myself one day going to Walmart, and then I'm gonna get like $200 worth of groceries, right? And then I'm gonna check out, and when they tell me how much it costs, I'm gonna ask them, "Can I pay you in salty tears? How does this work?" Because apparently, you can turn this feelings and emotions into currency. How does it? Candace is like, you don't have to have any evidence of anything, no proof of transactions. Okay, so somehow you're able to get things without having to show proof, or you go to the store and get something and you don't need a receipt because of reasons. So if all I need is 2 bags of salty tears to buy $200 of groceries, we're gonna find out how far that gets us. That's how that's the lunacy of it all. Like, imagine me doing that. That is exactly what I imagine listening to Candace. Her going to the store, racking up 2 grocery carts full of stuff, getting to the register, and then saying, "Can I pay you in salty tears? Because what is money?"
There's
you see, like, oh my God, you really are dumb.
I think she's cashing in on something that I don't know. Have you heard the term suicidal empathy? Have you heard that?
I have not. That's a new one.
So there's a term called that people are using called. In fact, I bought a book. A guy named Gad Sad wrote a book called Suicidal Empathy, and he talks about how we as a society, like in a grievance culture, we immediately just go to it, and we're like, yes, give all our money, resources to whoever says they're a victim of this, that, and the third. And I think she is that's what she's cashing in on. She's cashing in on our society's inclination to be suicidally, empathetic. And as they've pulled these people are so emotionally invested in what she's doing. They're just sitting there waiting with bated breath. What is Candace going to tell me today? What's she going to reveal today? Oh, Candace, my queen is under attack. I'm going to give her money. Here you go. Here's my paycheck. I can't make rent this month, but are you getting the paycheck?
That's exactly what they're doing. They're giving up all that rent money.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's just crazy that, this is why when I do respond, I don't respond with all the emotions like that. Now, there are times where blaspheming, that'll do it. The photo circulating of her looking like Jesus carrying a cross, we don't do that. Like, the devil is a liar. You are not Jesus.
Wow, I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's on X.
Oh.
Can one of you all please tag Continue Freedom on that photo? It is on X.
Yeah, and it's just at Continue Freedom, all one word.
Yeah, because it's the most blasphemous thing I've seen thus far. Like, wow. You're looking at this photo and it's like, and she hearts it and thinks this is cute and funny. No. The Bible states you don't let anybody make you into an idol.
Yeah.
Don't sit here and you got these dumb bots sitting here amping you up to where they're looking at you like you're equivalent to Jesus. No. Nope.
Hey, I'll tell you, that same person that I told you about that I knew of that had that narcissistic personality disorder, that is the sort of thing they saw their position as like a position of anointing, actually. So it went deep. It went deep. It's very easy for people to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, let's get back to it. Hell is still hot, Candace.
No, that didn't happen. Because they'll do anything to protect the image of Candace that they've built and that Candace has built with them.
Yeah. I mean, it's
so
genuinely.
There is no evidence that could impact it.
No, I mean, it's genuinely cult behavior. I mean, that's what, in the brilliance that Candace has in all this. I mean, she's created a whole new genre of entertainment. This is like a murder mystery, choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
You get to cosplay as an investigator and you get to join the investigation. And by the way, I want you to go out there. I know that you people can find this information. I'm not going to leave my studio. I'm not going to go talk to anybody. I'm not going to go to locations. I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm not going to talk to professionals. I'm not going to talk to anybody that has any subject matter expertise in any of this. I want you all to do that. And I have a freaking murder mystery email tip line where you can send this information to me and you can feed me new content. And if you're lucky, I will pull that out and I will read what you sent me and give you a little credit for it. But it is, I mean, there's a lot of
It's like Candace AI.
Oh, it's I mean, it's like you have to give her credit in those areas, the way that she can manipulate people.
Yeah.
And what she does isn't sophisticated, but it's extremely well executed. And like you said, I mean, she's exceptional at it. She really is.
When you say AI, it's artificial insanity.
And this is the guy that,
I've known Candace for a long time, since way before she was famous. And I first met her at a Turning Point event. She's literally sitting by herself. This shows you how unfamous she was. She was sitting by herself at breakfast. My wife and I went over to chat with her. And I have a habit of when I see young people coming up in politics, and especially if you see somebody who flips from the left to the right, everybody thinks it's cool. Like, oh, they're getting famous. They're on Fox News. They're on Daily Wire, Blaze, whatever. It's like so cool and they're so popular. It sucks to be them at that point. It's really hard. Everybody they know that they knew from their former life hates them, is attacking them. They're being, everybody's on them on the right. We love you. You're incredible. By the way, they're usually going broke at that point in their lives because every other way that they could make money in the past, all those people now hate them. Nobody's paying them. You go on Fox News, you're not getting paid to be on Fox News or whatever you're doing that's making you famous. And so I just tend to go up to them like, I just want them to know, like, if you need anything, I've been through this. It's ugly. I'm happy to help or whatever. And so I did that with Candace and it was fine. We had a nice conversation. And then about 6 weeks later, I just felt compelled to call and check on her. You said something which I think is so true. If you've spent any time with Candace, she's extraordinary.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she oozes charisma. She's articulate. She's intelligent. She's pretty. I mean, she's the full package as a broadcaster. And so I knew she was going to be really famous. So I called her up and just said, hey, how's it going? And she was frank and she said, not great. And I said, what's going on? And she was telling me, it's just rough. I'm having a hard time making it. And I said, well, I have a kind of a litmus test question with up and comers, like, what would happen if your car broke down tomorrow? And Candace told me, oh, I'd be screwed. Like, I couldn't afford a car repair. And she said, in fact, I have a tire that's flat right now. I can't repair it. So here she is. She's becoming famous. She's traveling around talking for TPUSA. She's making virtually no money. She can't fix her tire on her car. And so I offered to help her with that. And I started paying her. Like, this is a story I've never told publicly.
Wow.
And I just said, well, what do you need to survive? And she said, well, I'm getting paid $1,600 a month. My rent is more than that. I'm watching my YouTube for monetization. How much do you need? She said, I need about $1,000 a month to survive. And I said, okay, well, I'll pay you $2,000. And she said, well, for what? And I said, just do what you're doing. Because she was extraordinary. And I just, we could afford it out of our nonprofit. I put her on the budget. I started paying her. And she at some point said, oh, do you want me to endorse convention estates? I said, I mean, if you want to, but that's not why I'm not doing this for that reason. I'm doing it because you're a talent. You're important. I think you're going to be famous and do really great things. I just want to help. So I paid her. I don't remember exactly whether it was a month or two. It was relatively short. And one day I got a text from her that was like the most vicious text I've ever received from anybody in my entire life. I mean, just cut me to the bone. Said something like, I don't think who you are, who you say you are. I don't think you're genuine. Don't ever talk to me again. And I literally, the look on your face is the look on my face.
Like out of nowhere, just like what?
At zero, out of nowhere.
0 to 100. Yeah.
Hadn't had a conversation. And I basically said, what the F are you talking about? And she said, was I not clear? I don't ever want to talk to you again, lose my number. And I said, you're batshit crazy. Like, I don't even know what this is. And that's the last time I ever talked to Candace, right? But it was my first evidence that she's psycho. And the follow-on to the story is many years later, I knew Charlie socially more than politically. We used to hunt together. And so we'd go pheasant hunting and fishing together. And so I was on a pheasant hunt with him. This is when Candace was having her explosion with Kanye. Remember, she said Kanye designed the logo for Blexit, and he said no. So this is all blowing up. Charlie has now made her his communications director. We're on this hunt. Charlie's there. He's on the phone constantly. He walks up to me and says this really weird thing. He goes, I think I owe you an apology. I'm not offended by anything you've done that I'm aware of. He goes, you don't know? Nope. Okay. Like, you don't owe me an apology. It's fine. And I asked him a little bit later. I'm like, I don't know what that was all about, but I do have one question. I got this super weird text from Candace. Like, it was just the meanest text I've ever gotten in my life. I was just trying to help her. And he pointed at his phone and he goes, some people never change. And that to me was the beginning of a through line, right? Like I saw, okay, I don't know what's going on with her and Charlie, but it's bad. And she's being vicious. She was bad and vicious to me. She then goes to PragerU. And I kind of tried to warn the PragerU folks, like, can't tell you exactly what's going to happen, but it's probably not going to be good. She leaves PragerU. I get told by folks at PragerU, pretty ugly. She ends up at Daily Wire. I'm like, oh my God, my friends at DW. This is so bad. Obviously, it goes poorly. There is a through line from the day I met her that she is a vicious, psychotic person.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Crazy.
Vicious, psychotic.
Uh-huh. Tell us what you really think, buddy. I think
oh my God, go ahead. Ooh.
Can you look at that video and see what his name was? Because it's killing me that I can't remember what it was. I won't be able to sleep tonight. Of course, I can look it up after the show.
Oh, you good? Is it Mark Meckler?
Mark Meckler, that's the one. Yeah,
okay.
Michael Malice is the one he's the anarchist guy. He's a different dude. Michael Malice is. That's
Mark
Meckler. Yeah, he's got a thing. Convention of the states. He's trying to do that whole convention of the states thing for. Well, that's a long story, but anyway, yeah, it was interesting to hear him give that account. And when you couple that with some of the softer language that TPUSA uses about the whole situation, and what Tim Pool says that he saw, Mark Meckler was pretty, just not really holding anything back about his experience with her.
This is wow. I wish Daily Wire would have took heed. Like I said, I didn't follow her like that or everywhere she worked. But when you have people that high ranking in these organizations that can all say the same thing about you, that's called consistency. That's not something you fake.
Nope.
That's who you are. It's just that simple. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's this pattern. And when things don't go your way, you become vicious and psychotic. Like, that is so extreme. This is why I'm like, she definitely needs to get many, many, many psychiatric evaluations done, because that's not normal. Going from one extreme to another, like to go from this man is giving you $2,000 a month, tax-free, perhaps, to live. And all you have to do is what? Talk, speak. Yeah. And out of nowhere, it's like a whole nother personality takes place.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sign of someone with some sort of schizo, multiple personality type disorder. And we all know she's a narcissist.
Oh, yeah.
Candace does not care about being hypocritical or about lying. Those are the things that narcissists do not care about. They could care less that they're being hypocritical. Hypocrisy is just lying, except you're trying to cover it up and be deceptive with it. So narcissists don't care about it. And now we're at a point where we're seeing the 6 million bot army or whatever she call it, mommy slews that are impersonating investigators, breaking federal laws up here, going after people. Even if you're giving constructive criticism, now you're going to be subjected to that type of response. And this is the coach she's created.
Yeah. And they're motivated. You know, you give somebody a keyboard, no accountability, and a big gulp full of Chardonnay, and they go to town. That's what they're doing. They're absolutely doing it. You know, I thought it was interesting. He talked about her wanting to be Oprah. And this is something that I mentioned when she first got her Daily Wire show. From the set to her like trying to tone down. She started by trying to tone down some of her delivery. And even the logo, the C, you know, it was just Candace. That's all it was. It was just Candace. It was all branded almost identical to how they had branded Oprah. It was so obvious to me. And I said, they're trying to make this woman Oprah. That's what they're really trying to do.
Yeah.
And to hear that later on from Jeremy Boring saying, yeah, she just wanted to be Oprah. She was open about it. He said in the same interview, by the way, did you watch the Jeremy's Razors commercial? Do you remember those from the Daily Wire days when he was over there?
No, I didn't.
So, Daily Wire, he started a razor company, and it was because they were using some razor company that was a sponsor, and the company basically, I guess, backed out on them or said, we're not going to sponsor you anymore because you're conservative. And so in an act of defiance, he started his own razor company. It was called Jeremy's Razors. And there's a scene in the commercial, and he talked about this, where he drives up in a McLaren, and he gets out and he tosses his keys to somebody. And he said that was a dig at Candace, because her first day on the job, she came in and she just handed her keys to the first person she saw and walked in. And it was like just this air of superiority. And so he said, we actually put that in the commercial, and it was, I think, more or less a dig at Candace and her ego.
She just handed her keys to somebody. To what car?
Yeah, that's or Range Rover or whatever it is she was driving. I could just envision her sauntering in, you know, and
oh my God,
tossing her keys to some random intern working at the Daily Wire.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Toss some keys to me if you want to. This car is not coming back. You kidding me? Man. The arrogance, and that's what part of what the young lady we were watching yesterday. Can you want to recall her name? It was a Facebook clip video that I was sent. Most of what that young lady was saying, she worked for TPUSA, was the same thing. She was like, you know, this girl was nasty, mean. She was demanding. Sarah, thank you so much. Her first name was Sarah.
Okay. And
she worked at TPUSA, and she was like, this girl was mean and nasty, you know, and she attended UVU. She was like, my interactions with Candace have been all negative because of this, you know, disgusting, repulsive behavior. I mean, to have that level of arrogance about yourself, and you are lying to people saying, hey, I grew up from the roughnecks in the rough area of town where I was kicked out at 14 and had lived with my boyfriend for 6 months and the blah, blah, blah. My mom and dad were broke and blah, blah, blah. All this stuff you put out here going up the ladder. And then you end up having this arrogance about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the very least, if you're lying about the so-called struggle you had, you would think you remain humble and keep that persona at the very least. But no, you going around here like a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
Who spoiled you? Like, where you get this from?
You know, I've said this before that
thank you, Sarah Clark.
You know, I could see somebody that has a meteoric rise. It's like anybody, they don't know what to do with the fame. You know, it happens in professional sports, and it happens in Hollywood, and all this. People all of a sudden have fame, and they've got an entourage, and they've got all the money, and you know, more than resources than they know what to do with. And it gets to their head, and they start thinking, maybe I really am this special because everybody around me is telling me I'm special. And when you couple that with what is a narcissistic personality disorder, in my humble opinion, no matter evidence to back it up, but my humble opinion, then that's just a complete recipe for disaster. Another story that Jeremy told was her coming in. She had an assistant, and I guess this assistant stood inside and waited for Candace to show up. And when Candace showed up, her coffee had to be hot. And so she would go to get the coffee in the morning, and He said she kept going every couple of minutes to heat it up because it had to be perfectly hot. And she was just waiting on Candace to show. He said, well, when does she usually show up? And she's like, sometime between 9 and 11. So there's like this 2-hour window where she's not showing up, but her assistant, if she shows up in that window, you better have hot coffee ready for Miss Owens. I mean, just
disgusting.
At that point, you have completely lost track of. You're not living in the real world at that point. You're no longer grounded. Your ego is in full control, and you are convinced of your own, self-importance. And I, sympathetically, I could say that would be a hard thing to overcome. But I don't know about you, but I'm speaking for myself. I have there's something called imposter syndrome, where it's like this thing where even though you're capable of doing what you're doing, you still like doubt your ability to do it. And honestly, for me, I don't know if that's what it is per se, but for me, I just I double and triple think everything that I put out. And sometimes I overanalyze. And in fact, this is why I made so many videos before I ever posted a video. I probably, of the however many hundred are on my channel, there's probably 300 or 400 that I made that I didn't post because I didn't do that exactly right. I didn't do this exactly right. And I was over analyzing myself and, that little mistake, I shouldn't say it that way. It was just this hyper analysis of putting something out there forever and ever. And what I've found is that when I do live streams, if I'm on a live stream, I'm held accountable by an audience, and I'm held accountable by people who will call me if nothing ever intentionally BS, but if I say something that's wrong, I have an audience that will correct me, but I'm accountable to those people because whether it's Jujubee or, Megan, I saw her in here, whether it's Grim Princess, I'm accountable for the information that I give them, the opinions that I give them. And that is the best environment for me to work in because the syndrome is I'm terrified of giving somebody bad data. Like, I don't want to ever be the guy who's giving the audience bad data. And I still, I guess the part of it is, this is me kind of opening up to your audience here.
Open on up. It's all good.
Is that I still get surprised every time because I've got a great audience and we've obviously got some crossover. I saw Lynn in here. Jujubee is over on my channel. But absolutely. I still get surprised every time I come on and you get these great people that come on and listen to the stuff you're saying. And I take it as an honor, but I also take it as a responsibility. And Candace doesn't. She takes it as it is all about herself. And she's got the fake outrage and the fake benevolence of saying, no, I'm doing this for Charlie. I'm doing this for Charlie. It's not. She's not.
It's not.
No, it's not. Sorry, that was a long diatribe. I didn't mean to get into that one.
You're good. You're good. That's what we here. Listen, that's what we here for. We having these conversations up in here.
Adri's in here too. Adri Unfiltered. She's in here too. That's great. She's a good one.
Yeah. Shout out to all of you all. And that's what the whole point of this is. It's to understand, like, this is what we're dealing with. This is everybody have their own approach to, Candace and this topic of her being malicious in every way seems like now. And that the accountability always has to be at the core, at the forefront. It has to be the foundation. When I posted the law regarding her doxing a police chief or police sergeant, the one thing that her cult members could not do is say this is not factually correct. They're just mad because she's being reported. We don't care about that. But the facts still remain at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change the fact that Candace needs to be held accountable. It simply doesn't.
100%.
And I think that's part of their MO. They're the cult. They got to protect the cult leader and all this other stuff. Candace is like the black female Jim Jones now, in my mind. and it's that extreme. And if you can use all these dumb bots to convince real people that not only everything you're saying is right, but you should also act upon this, incite some level of violence where people are going to jail because of what you said. And they felt like they needed to send a death threat out to somebody, and they got caught. You can imagine the type of influence and impression she could leave on them if she were in person with them. If these people were somewhere physically located in one place and they already have this undying fealty and loyalty to them, you could basically command them to do anything and they would do it and not care about the consequences. That's the issue. They don't want the consequences to come along with their heinous actions. And that's what makes a person dangerous. I've been saying for 7, 8, 9 months that Erica Kirk needs to get a protection order. It's not even a scare tactic. It's just a matter of reality. And if she's already had to face the idea of something happening to her at UGA that caused her to have to cancel, their response to that, Candace and her co responded with anger. They were irritated. They were mad. How dare you cancel this event? Now, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean? So she cancels this event because of safety issues and then actually goes home to be with her kids. But then when she goes to White House Correspondents' Dinner, why was she out there anyway? She should have been home with her kids. But look what happened. She canceled because of security concerns. And then the moment she goes back out to the public, which is at this White House Correspondents' Dinner, an open shooter comes in. And you get now this, it's almost like, what are they planning? It's like they almost set her up and they're disappointed that she thwarted their plans by canceling the event. And when we sit down logically and we see what's happening, because I see through Candace, it's scary putting it past me. It's almost like I wouldn't be shocked if she, had to stand before a judge and it was proven with evidence that she had a hand in all of this. That wouldn't shock me. Because why would you go out your way to, at the very least, put people like this in this level of danger? To be a threat to someone that has two minor children. If you don't feel like it's going to somehow benefit you or be worth it for you in the end, what are you getting out of this? You're making whatever money, but you're about to start going to court because you're being sued. So how well are you going to be able to hold on to that? What is the true vindication in this? Because that's how she's behaving. She's behaving like a scorned woman on the path to vindication. And for what? What are you expecting? So if people are going to jail around you, don't you think it's only a matter of time? Because these people are going to jail because of what you're saying. And they're giving death threats out to people. They're not doing anything else. They're not trying to have debates. They're not trying to come together to be reasonable about any of this. They believe whatever she says, even though they could read and research. Not even the law. They won't do it. But what is her end goal with this? Seeing the consequences of all of that. This girl will catch a lawsuit and then get mad because she's being sued. But still will not change course. Now we're on 2 lawsuits, maybe 3. And if TPUSA go in 4, that's not including people who had to relocate. We had Joshua Carr here a couple months back where he knows at least 2 people that had to relocate because she put them out there and they lived near UVU. They had the whole community, people looking for them. It's almost like they had to go into hiding. And for what? People have to uproot their lives because of the danger and the threat that she put people in. And for what? So for me personally, I feel like, looking at her pattern of behavior and the way she's handling this whole situation and the backlash is coming with this. I mean, the death threats, putting Erica Kirk's safety in danger. Why put anything past someone like her? And like I said, I do watch true crime, a lot of true crime. And I think one of the things that most people get stumped at is when you see somebody like a Candace, and then when something major happens, people are like, "Oh man, I didn't know she was capable of doing that. I can't believe it. She went in and took out the whole household." And I'm sitting back like, I saw the signs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't owe her the benefit of the doubt, and I see what the extent, the button she's willing to push, and how far she's truly willing to go, even by proxy through her cult members, where they're people sitting in jail. They're giving up their liberty and freedom for this. It is classic cult-like behavior, cult-like personality with her, the narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
You all said in the chat, the narcissistic personality disorder on steroids with impunity. Now you're doing this with you don't think you're supposed to suffer consequences. You're believing that you're above the rule of law. What's really keeping her at bay here at this point? That's how, and I see that each day it's like worse and worse and worse and worse. What's truly keeping her at bay at this point? It's almost like a loose cannon. We're just expecting her to explode at some point. What do you think is going to happen when that does? Give me your thoughts on that.
I think she separates herself. This is another thing that can happen on the internet, is when you really don't care, you're just in it for, like you say, I don't really know what her end state is. It's like, where does it end? When does it end? How does it end? I don't know. I think she knows that there's going to be a trial for a long time, it's a long time before we get to actual trial. She can milk this cash cow for as long as she possibly can. She can build whatever audience she possibly can. I think some people are going to catch on to the grift. If enough of us are talking about it, people are going to start saying, all right, now it's just getting loony, and I'm out of this. Not to mention people are losing relationships over it. There's countless people talking about marriage is ending over this stuff. And marriages, I can't even talk to my wife because all she is doing is listening to Candace stuff. And that's all of our conversation. Frank Turek actually had this on one of his shows. I played a clip, and he read a comment from a viewer that said, "I'm married, but now I can't have a conversation with my wife without this coming up. I'm trying to do the right thing as a husband, but I don't know how to do it. I can't get her off of this, this treadmill or spinning wheel, hamster wheel of Candace Owens content and delusion." So
crazy.
I think that a part of it is money. I think that until some legal action is taken, it's not going to stop. But in the meantime, she's going to continue to rake in these massive amounts of money, super chats and monetization and all that shouldn't even be there, because YouTube is supporting her. YouTube is boosting her.
Yep.
And I had another thought, and it left me before I got to spit it out. I forget where else I was going to go with that one. But
can you speak a little bit more on this whole marriage? I mean, you married. Do you have any advice you want to offer to married couples out there losing their marriage over Candace? Like, the consequences all around are just ridiculous now.
I can tell you that there's someone that I interact with on a regular basis, and he actually voiced something to me. He's not my generation, but he voiced it to me. We kind of talk to each other on a regular basis. We pray together and things like that. And he said that his wife was actually getting involved in this sort of stuff. And that they had a conversation because they have a very good, very long, very good relationship. And he said, "Is this bringing you joy in life? Or is this something that's disrupting our relationship and your joy in life?" And after that conversation, it was, "No, I'm stepping away." But that was because, he I mean, he kind of took charge of the situation and said, no, we're not letting this become a thing for us.
Right.
And she had the, self-control and understood, and they kind of hashed it out. I don't know all the details of how it went, but
Gotcha.
that was it. But she got sucked into it and was constantly talking about, did you know Erica Kirk did this? Did you know this about Erica Kirk? Did you know this about that? And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Is this stuff bringing you joy in life, or is this something that you're feeding on the anger that comes with it? And it was the latter. So that's the thing, strong relationships. That's how, if someone is getting obsessed with, I mean, it could be anything. You're obsessed with anything.
Absolutely.
The other person in the relationship, whether that's the man or the woman, like, you got to be honest with the person you're with. This is not worth a marriage, a covenant in front of God like that. It ain't worth it. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
Owens is not worth it. And, her drama is not worth it.
Not at all.
That's the way I look at it. But, I think about
God.
What's that?
I was gonna say, people losing their marriage and stuff. It's oh man, it's so not worth it. And at the end of the day, she's not stunning any of these people. Like, she's not stunning anybody. She barely talks about George. It's like,
well, that's the other thing. She never brings it up. She never brings up her husband. That's a key component.
She does not talk about George. Yeah, and that's how he get a black eye. How does George get a black eye? You can't make this up. I wouldn't listen. I saw that photo and I said, man, that looks just like Tyler Robinson in that alleyway at the parking deck going down the stairs. I'm like, I can't believe he walked around with a black eye. He wanted us to see that.
Yeah.
Because he knew he could have just covered it up or wore some shades, right? He went in a photo and didn't try to take it down or anything with this huge black eye. It's like, what is going on? She got injuries that aren't being explained at all. Whatever happened to that foot? What happened to her foot? She was in a boot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was, wasn't she?
Yeah. It's like, what is going on? You got a boot on, walking around with this little scooter thing. He's got a black eye. And you two just walking through the airport like nothing wrong. What? This can't be healthy for the kids. Well, she doesn't care about marriage or respect it at all.
No. Well, I want to go back to something you said earlier. You were talking about the crazies and the violence and all that. And this is, the separation from people on the internet this is the point that I was going to make that I'd forgotten, is that it's very easy to say that what we do is consequence free, and it's really not. So, that's why it's nice. We come on here and we can talk about serious stuff, but we can also laugh. We can say that, this is a component of the content we're consuming. There are lies out there, and we're trying to correct the lies and the deception of our fellow Americans, people that we care about. That's what we're here to do.
Yep.
There's very little consequence in that. We could misinform somebody. We could do something like that. But when you just don't care and you are taking it to the level that she is with information that is clearly a lie, clearly false,
exactly.
And that you build the conspiracy and you build it into, this woman, basically treating it as this woman, Erica Kirk, is out here walking around free as a bird, and she was responsible for this. Brian Harpole is walking out here free as a bird, and he is responsible for this. And all of this anger that I have put in you, this is me talking as Candace, I put all this anger in you. Here's the people. You want to know why she wants to know where Erica is at any given time? It's because that can be broadcast over the internet, and she can say it consequence free, because just like when they radicalize people politically, they say, look, it's just political talk. Politics is rough stuff. And they plead ignorance and they plead innocence when one of the radicals, because it only takes one. We saw that the exact thing with Charlie Kirk. It only took one, and something bad, something catastrophic happens. She sees herself as separated from that. I can say whatever I want. First Amendment. I never said that they should do this, but she's built an environment that cultivates radicals, and that's her shtick. And when you cultivate radicals, you get complete mental capture by whatever it is that she wants to say. They listen to her, as you've said, as a cult leader. And when that cult leader implies certain things, that these guilty parties, well, I'm a good citizen. I believe that there should be justice. And so I'm going to go out here and take justice into my own hands. That's the environment that she's created. And that's the person that was arrested for, did they threaten Erica, or did they actually
death threat?
Yeah.
And they got arrested for it. It's because it's a crime. I mean, it's a crime to send death threats. You cannot send death threats and say that's free speech. No, it's not.
Nope.
And the 6 million dumb bots she have that refuse to read laws are not going to help you in court. And that's what, at the end of the day, overall, what's being missed here. Candace will not hire you an attorney. She will not pay your mortgage or rent. She will not pay your bills or buy you groceries or food or nothing. She has no sway in your household. These same people, meanwhile, are sending her their rent money. And she's using it to just stack it. She doesn't need help with attorney's fees. She's a multimillionaire. But these 2 lawsuits she brought them on herself. Meanwhile, she doesn't care that any of these people are roaming the earth. As long as she feels like she has their undying fealty and loyalty, they don't care if she's breaking the law. And they literally in real time are saying all of that on X. Like they could care. They're not disputing the law, but they're like, well, why would you tell on her? Because I can. And I will, because she's breaking the law.
I think it's a profit and loss. Yeah, I think it's a profit and loss thing for her too. So it's okay. I'm making 10 million, 20 million, whatever it is she's making a year. Who knows? You know, on my merch and my super chats and my monetization, I'm making this many million a year. It's going to cost me 3, for a lawsuit, and maybe I can win it or we can settle. Like, let's do the profit and loss here. And if I'm still netting $1 million, $2 million, because she's apparently got a small team of people, she doesn't have a ton of employees.
I heard
she's only got like 3 or 4 people working for her. That's pretty low overhead for somebody that's making as much money as she is. She says, I keep the racket going. It's only cost me $1 million a year in lawyers. That's nothing. That's peanuts. Come on, let's just keep this thing going. And because she's yielding money too. That come on, her husband's a British lord. Those people know how to hide their money. They've got it slid into nonprofits and other things. And it's all covered. And when just like with Alex Jones, when they came after Alex Jones, and he's like, I don't have any money. It's like
he still got to pay that settlement though.
You got to pay that settlement.
You won't. But see, that's the thing. Candace can't decry it, because then what they're gonna do is say, okay, well, the potential earnings that you have coming in, a percentage of this is going over here. Keep on playing. And yes, we do consider combined income for the household. So George, where your checkbook? Like that, he's gonna realize the hard way. Like, oh, I should have divorced you a long time ago. Get out of my house. I'm going home to my mother. Like he's gonna be so mad. We realize I do have to help you pay this lawsuit. Wow, because he's not gonna be able to justify all that. And honestly, I've said this several times. Erica Kirk needs to get a protection order against Candace Owens, or a restraining order. And if she sues, name George Farmer, because then he'll understand. You have the ability to put a kibosh on some of this stuff, because the threats and all of that is not protected free speech. And you had the ability to try to rein this in or report it, and you were reckless and negligent. And you didn't. And now you have this woman and her safety and her 2 kids' safety at jeopardy. And it's opposed to you doing the right thing and saying, you need to cut this nonsense out. We got 4 kids. You don't know who you're pissing off. And I'm not in the mood. Like, I don't want to have to sit here and defend the whole household because of your nonsense and buffoonery. He needs to be named just for the negligence. Just because he enabled this to go on for as long as it's been going on. And at the end of the day, what evidence do you have to support any of this crap you're saying?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question though. With a protective order, so the threat itself wouldn't be from Candace, it would be from her followers. Does it cover, how does that work? Is it online content? Can it include that? Or because I really don't know. I don't know anything about protective orders.
No, so the protection is fine. It's the protection order would be to shield you from physical threats, or harm, threats of bodily injury or harm. Because Candace already said that she has direct sources and contacts living in Erica Kirk's residential building, at the very least, that is, you're still orchestrating the stalking behavior.
Okay.
Because who says that? Like me saying I have 2 people living on your street, always watching and listening everywhere you go. You'd be like, so you're stalking me. Like that's because that's what that comes out to be. This unwanted, attention that no one needs and no one asks for, and Erica Kirk deserves the right to live in peace. The restraining order or an injunction for harassment would be for the social media, the videos, the verbal, because that's mainly where this is stemming on from. So I say that she should get a physical, like a protection order, because she's received death threats, and that's what the law states. When you're starting to get death threats for someone that wants to do bodily injury and harm to you, that is going into that speaks to what stalking is. In the state of Arizona where she lives, it's a class 3 or class 5 felony. So let's say there are 2 people living in her building, they're communicating with Candace. She'll be held accountable because she's orchestrating and directing the stalking behavior. She's aiding in that. Whether she physically is there or not is irrelevant. She could still get hit with charges and be held legally liable with a lawsuit. Now, the 2 people living in the building would be named for the protection order because they are physically located there. And if they are actively stalking her, then they can get hit with that. And if they violate it, they go to jail. So okay. And it's another protective measure for her, because at the end of the day, if Candace violates a court order, she will be held in contempt. And she will go to jail. And depending on what it is that, the violation itself, that's where it becomes criminal. So with the restraining order, that's typically considered a civil matter. But if she violates it, now it becomes criminal. Okay. They can have her locked up. And this is what she's willing to risk. And I'm just like, okay, cool. We'll just keep reporting you to the police and to the FBI, because you have no reason to do that. There is absolutely no reason for anyone to ever say, yeah, obviously I have direct sources and contacts living in her residential building. What do you mean? That's the craziest thing ever. No one says that. No one needs to say that. But, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like she's been stalking this whole time, like for years. For however long Charlie and Erica Kirk lived there, she's probably been stalking them since then. I wouldn't put that past her. That's just how I feel about it. Because if she's psycho enough to say that, she's certainly psycho enough to have stalked and kept up this behavior. When she's doxing for almost 8 years plus, she'll do anything else. And she doesn't care about the fact that it's harassment and you're inciting violence. You're causing people to have death threats sent their way. When that happens, that's not protected speech. That's not journalism. That's not First Amendment rights. That's not reporting anything. That is illegal. And so hopefully Erica Kirk gets that done, because I don't put anything past Candace at this point. I feel like if Candace were to see that girl, she probably would physically do something to her.
She's kind of like at least in the social media space, I think she feels kind of like a cornered like a cornered pit bull, you know, and what's it going to do? It's going to bite. So she doesn't know how to tone down. All she knows how to do is escalate. And that's what she keeps doing, is just escalate and escalate. And until something is done, it's just, it's not going to stop. Like this is the world we're in right now. And but you know, I feel like we're doing the right thing by bringing it up and by highlighting the, you know, and the way you do it with a smile, like it's even better.
It's Mala time, okay? Mala time.
It's Mala time. That's right. My goodness.
It's Mala time. We always have to end that on some laughter or something. Yeah, oh my goodness. You gotta bring in the smiles. I wanna because we hitting 2 hours. I've enjoyed this.
I've enjoyed it
I
too.
hope you have.
Absolutely.
I'm having a good time. Are you all having a great time in the chat? They said Gary is live at the same time. Y'all know I can listen.
How dare he?
Gary, I said, what's up? The audacity. Can you believe that?
The audacity of that man. Can't believe him.
Oh my goodness. So we got to catch the replay on Gary, because we got I think he has Eda Marie over there hanging out with him. And oh my goodness, she is hilarious. Hilarious.
The biker chick, what's it called? Isn't that her? The biker chick thing is her, isn't it?
Yes. The Candyland biker babe. I was like, this is the best way to troll Candace and her whole coat. Is the comedy of it all. It reminds me of, and I told her this a while back, this reminds me of Mad TV. You know, just comedic gold. And I said, girl, if you continue this, you will go a long way. This character itself can be its own persona. So now she's got the Candyland Biker Babe YouTube channel and X account.
Oh, that's
with
great.
That character. I said, girl, that character alone will take you far. It was, oh my God, such a blast doing one of the anger management sessions with her. The first one she did, and then I think Milk Bar is done the second. And then, of course, she sends out these little cease and desist videos. Just absolute comedic gold. Comedic gold. So I do want to end on that note. If I can, if you got any other finalized statements, any other thoughts you want to leave, you know, the gentlemen in the LLC, married couples, don't let Candace cause you to get a divorce, because she won't. Any other things you want to make note?
No, not really. I feel like we covered it all. I've enjoyed this. This has been so much fun. It's such a welcome reprieve. A lot of times on my show, I'm very serious. I try to do some light stuff, but it's just so easy with you. It's so much fun. I enjoyed it. And I appreciate you having me on. And yeah, it's great. It's great.
Absolutely. And you know, you got to come back now, because I tell all our guests this. Don't be scared to come back. Come hang out with us. Hop in. Chat out with us. Saturday, we're going to have Nick Brooks. Tomorrow, we're going to be with The Whole Truth. He's an attorney.
Oh, I actually have I've talked to him some, because on that same day that I was hosting Gary's show, he came on. He'd been on the day before, and he came on to help me answer some questions. So yeah, Gil is his name. He's good. He's a good dude. So, yeah, fantastic. Okay.
Oh man, I'm excited. He reached out, and I was like, yes, come on in here. You're an attorney. I love speaking with attorneys, because I mean, I'm not an attorney, but what I am is a connoisseur of reading laws, and I love getting the legal perspective from those who are lawyers or attorneys, because they study and they know. And tomorrow we'll be able to ask about a couple scenarios regarding the possibility of Erica Kirk's lawsuit, TPUSA, if they sue, what the outcomes could be for the lawsuits that are already out there, the Brigitte Macron and Brian Harper lawsuit. I think Brian Harper could literally get just a settlement offer, hands down. It wouldn't be hard for him. They're trying to present the argument that, well, he's a public figure and he needs to prove malice intent, which he could still do, but they're trying to make it seem like he thrust himself into the spotlight when he went on Sean Ryan's show. It's like, no, that's not how it works. He went on Sean Ryan's show to debunk Candace because his business was taking a hit and he was losing contracts, and which equals to money. That's called tort. So when you're interfering with someone's ability to make money and they have obligations financially, all because of defamation, you can be held legally liable. And that's what's happening. So the idea that he did that one show and all of a sudden he's a public figure, no, he's not. And you have people trying to board of cult members or something else, but what they do not do is read. And there are laws that kind of outline for the court what is defined to be legally defined to be a public figure. Going out just to correct the record, because now you're being forced to have to defend yourself based on Tennessee's state law, is not a public figure. This is a man who has a business trying to save his business. That's simply, he was friends with Charlie Kirk. And it's like he's already catching it. He looked like he felt guilty. He did the Sean Ryan interview and he cried. And I mean, it was very real and very personal for him. And he was Charlie's bodyguard or security detail for what, 7-8 good years?
Yeah, something like that.
Of course, you want to grow a kinship in a relationship with that person. But to castrate them and to make him feel like, he's inadequate when he knows what he's going through. And that loss, it hurts on many levels for him.
Well,
but
and just
going
because
out here and defaming him doesn't make it better.
Yeah, and just because it's easy for Candace Owens to betray somebody doesn't mean that normal people, it's easy for them too. I think that's why she can envision some sort of betrayal, because in her mind it would be fairly easy. The average person, like Mr. Harpole, it is not, because he developed a relationship. You don't just turn on somebody and do something like that. It's not that simple. For her it is, for him it's not.
Right. And so that was his main goal when he went on that show was, okay, I feel like I have to address some of this nonsense and buffoonery because it's hurting on many levels and it's completely false, provably false. And so that's something we're all waiting for Erica Kirk to drop a federal lawsuit as well, but the attorneys can give great insight on, the outcome based on just other cases similar to that. And that's kind of like the go-to. You want to know how law is interpreted, you turn to case law. You look at what precedents is set, and how, let's say, cyber harassment, and that law is interpreted and enforced in other cases. So when they're out here talking, oh Lord, they are so mad on X. They're sitting here throwing a tantrum about, oh, well, no, this is freedom of speech and this is blah, blah, blah. It was not. Nope. Yeah. There's case law and Supreme Court rulings that have already defined and interpreted what cyber harassment is versus First Amendment rights, protection of freedom of speech and the public, the right, freedom of press with the media, and what our standards should be and what our restrictions should be. We should not be breaking laws to talk about anything. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
So if we can't avoid doxing someone to talk about someone's testimony, then what are we doing? Candace she said herself she doesn't care about the investigation. She already said that months back. She said, I do not care about the case in Utah. Got it. So why are you sitting here trying to throw water on it and question the evidence in it if you don't care about it overall? You've already put it out there that you don't care. So now you are sitting here getting to a point where it's like you're trying to intentionally taint the jury selection, creating such a bias about this evidence that's been admitted to where it's like, I don't know if they will be able to avoid asking the jurors, hey, have any of you watched Candace Owens? Because if you watch her show, get out. We're not in the mood. Like, it's going to be hard for them to avoid asking that.
Yeah.
It unbelievable. So Candace, you want to be Oprah, but you're not. Keep trying, dumb girl. So if you guys make sure you all check out Continue Freedom's YouTube channel and all his great content. We got to end it with some laughter. Let me pull a Edie Marie.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah. We gotta go there, y'all. I wondered, did she put all her videos? I know she started her Candyland Biker Babe channel.
I went over there after I saw it. I think there were only like a couple over there. So she hadn't posted a ton.
Oh, she hasn't posted a ton. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness. Which ones have you not seen? Let me ask that. Which ones have you not seen? She's got many.
I don't know.
Oh Lord.
Just pick one. Have you seen all of them?
Pick one. No matter. Okay. Oh man.
I haven't seen that one.
No. Oh my, I love that new.
Oh, hold on. Let me let me save it to my thing because I hate the view when it's these YouTube shorts like that.
No.
Oh. Okay. Because we want to have full view. There we go. Make sure you guys go check out Edie Marie. Show her some love and support over there. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Oh man, I'm so ready for this. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Hit the 4 when you can see in here. Let's go.
Oh my, I love that new whole music. Oh God,
Oh
you know,
my
sometimes I call in just so I can. Do you?
Don't you stop. Keep on moving. Come on, go back that thing up, or should I push up on it?
Okay, go ahead with your tip, please. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda.
Yes, baby.
Hey, do you
I'm
mind coming and helping me with my rod? Here, it fell out again.
Okay.
Please, I got a lead on
Yes.
hold.
Oh, was
Right.
it shook? Is it got shook now?
No, it's
Is
about 2 pop. Thank
Okay.
you, baby. Thank you.
Let's try the new titanium
Okay.
rods. They're a lot sturdy. Oh,
All right, honey, bye. Bye. Make sure you put some ice on that. Next time I'll send out a memo that I'll be wearing this top. Stay strong.
If you don't, that was certainly do.
No. Oh my, I love that new whole music.
Oh God,
Oh
you know
my
you
goodness.
sometimes I call in just so I can.
Do you?
Girl, don't you stop. Keep on moving. Come on, go back that thing up, or should I push up on it?
Okay, go ahead with your tip,
Oh
please.
my God.
Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda.
yes, baby.
Hey, do you
I'm like a
mind
mess.
coming and helping me with my rod? Here, it fell out again.
Okay.
Please, I got a lead on
Yes.
hold.
Damn,
Oh,
Rob.
was
Right.
it shook? Is it got shook now?
No, it's
Is
about 2 pop. Thank
Okay.
you, baby. Thank you.
Let's try the new titanium rods. They're a lot sturdy. Oh,
All right, honey, bye. Bye. Make sure you put some ice on that. Next time I'll send out a memo that I'll be wearing this top. Stay strong.
If you don't believe that all roads
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout out to
so
the story,
funny.
Mike. You can't make this.
Wow. That's really funny.
Oh my God. Y'all know I'm gonna see that 6 more times before I go to bed.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God. I said, girl, you are a genius. I don't know if you know what you stumbled across.
Oh,
Oh
God,
my
man.
goodness. But you might want to keep at it with Candyland Microwave 7000. I told y'all, I said, man, that's a whole character.
It is. That's a good one. I like it.
Well, I'll take you to the
on
candy
hold.
shop. Huh? What'd you say?
She said, I got a tip on hold. Oh, is it about Suge Knight? No, it's about Tupac. Oh my
I was
gosh.
done at the candy shop song.
That's
I
funny.
went through.
Wow.
That was too good. Thank y'all so much, man. We got to get the supers in. I want to thank you for hanging out with me here in the LLC. It has been an absolute honor. And anytime you want to come join us, hang out with us, by all means. And if you want, the video so you can do clips or whatever, feel free. I always tell people, take my videos and do whatever you need to do. Get your point across. Right. So shout out to all of you all as well. What are these gifts? What's these gems? What does that mean? I have not seen that. You seen it?
I haven't either. No, I have no idea what that is.
What does the gems mean, y'all? Thank you, Gold Coin. Adrian sent 350 gems. Finger heart. What? Can someone explain the gems?
What are you?
Wow. This is 1,000 gems. Corgi, thank you. Susie, I appreciate. I don't know what these gems mean, y'all. Juju with 30 gems. Flower. Listen. Thank y'all so much. 2 gems. 100. Megan, how you doing, Megan? Y'all, shout out to the mods. Mods are amazing. I have the best mods on YouTube. I appreciate all of them.
Yeah, Megan's great. She's over on my channel too.
Oh, Megan, shout out to you, Megan. Clap and seal, 250 gems. I don't even know. Am I reading this right? 2 gems, silver star. Silver star, 2 gems from Adrian. What? Gems. Okay, Mindy says, here you go. This is x.com. Is that the did you get the photo of Candace looking like Jesus carrying a cross? Oh, no. That level of blasphemy. Oh my God.
Was that over in, so that's over in the,
it's on X.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't see it. At least I didn't get a tag.
Mindy, do you think you can tag?
It's just at continue freedom.
Yeah. Okay. I have to scroll down and look for it. When I say I got tagged on a lot today. Oh, the cultists. Oh, the bots are so mad. It's so big mad.
Oh, are there bots in here that are mad?
Oh, the bots and the cult members are so bad. They don't like laws and stuff. The laws. Okay.
Bless.
I will have to scroll through it to find the photo and send it to you.
Okay.
Yep, I sure will, because it's child. It boils your blood. Jeep Lady with 800 gems, turn it up. And Sam's with 10 gems, gold coin. Listen, thank you all so much. I have no idea what these gems are, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I have no idea. And I want to thank you all for praying for me, and I will continue to pray for all of you all. Let's pray that whatever happens financially needs to happen. If I have to get another job or this works out, let it happen in due time. So I appreciate all of you all and your support. Thank you so much for tuning in with us and for hanging out with us. Is there anything new or exciting you got coming up?
Oh, me? No. Yeah. I'll be doing, let's see. I think I'm going to be on Gary's show tomorrow. Okay. Mindy, I see the Mindy tagged me on it.
Okay.
Here in the next day or two, I don't know. I need to look and see. So I've got that. I'll be doing my usual live streams probably for the rest of the week. So starting tomorrow. So I'll do Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. And yeah, tune in. I wish I could give a specific time. I try to do it around 6 p.m., but it varies. So just go subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check. I tell everybody, check in on me every now and then because YouTube likes to not give out notifications. You know how that goes.
Exactly. Yeah, that happens with me too. It's so weird. So you guys make sure you have all notifications turned on. Drop down selection after you subscribe. Then hit that bell, drop down, all notifications turned on, because YouTube will not always send you notifications. And that got me tripped up yesterday. I was like, I'm sorry, I had people wait for almost an hour. I was waiting on my own notification. I was like, oh man, that's so bad of me. I got to do better. But we are going to do better now. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You guys continue to keep your foot on Candace's neck. And that's it. We all about safety here. Erica Kirk, please get a restraining order. protection order, whatever you need to do. Keep you and your family safe. You guys stay safe. You guys stay protected and prayed up. And until the next one, I will see you all later. You all have a good night. Deuces.